Good evening and namaskar. I'm Yadu Prasad Gyamali and now I'm going to present on ethics in e-research. This is prepare for the course ICT and e-research ES for the given for presentation task by the instructor Mr. Niroj Dahal, and for this one here I'm going to present, and here is one presentation task to us. For the purpose I'm going to present on ethics in e-research. Basically, we know that research is the developmental trend of educational practice. This means it guides us, or it shows the way for the further improvement of the theories that are existing in the educational practices. Recently, we have the different paradigms, or we have the different methodology in terms of carrying out the research in the academic context. So, we can say that research is evidence-based educational activities to address the need of educational goals. By this reference, e-research is connected with the digital technology that is in the field of educational development or the academic growth. In my presentation, I am trying to cover the introduction, research paradigm, and ethics of the consideration. That's why my presentation starts with the concept of e-research. This means e-research is conceptualized from cyber infrastructure value that we know. Yes, we know that cyber infrastructure is digitally oriented, and there is database concept. Or there might be internet resources, it might be grid-oriented facts, or we can be convinced towards the e-services, or we have the different notifications for developing e-services in the field of developing the research trends. In this way, we can say it is the matter of developing trend, or we can also exaggerate this as one of the developmental approach of the research. And we know that research is the investigation with the supporting details. These supporting details means in research we get the evidences, we get the tools, we get the methodology, and as we know that we are also clear that we cannot imagine the research without evidences, research without the tools, research without methodology. That means this is the process under which we can develop the different context, we can develop the applicable situations which we find in terms of doing the research one. This way, we also can say that research is the contextual realization. Simply, we can say this is the contextual realization of what means of the educational values, like the world is developing, or in this whole globe, we can find the different educational values. The values of America, the values of Turkey, the values of Nepal, the values of England, like the values of Italy, like we can get the different values, but do they resemble the situation or not? This is known as contextual realization, and research carries these ideas in terms of developing trends. In the way we can say that e-research is connected to the digital infrastructure. We can see here digital infrastructure, and this digital infrastructure address the values of reality, values of the knowledge, values and the methodology. This means there is ontological factors, epistemological factors, and the other factors related with the values and the methodology of the research. In the way we can say that e-research is the research within the cyber infrastructure or in the digital context. Is is for this. Like in research, we collect information, we analyze information, similarly we find what we find. That's why we can say that research starts from the known factors, in the middle that can be unknown, and at the end that is also known. By this paradigm, this is directed towards the electronic or digitally recognized devices or digitally recognized context. Like in research paradigm, especially we can find the digital context. Digitalization of the research methodologies, digitalization of the research tools, digitalization of the research findings and the application process. That's why we can say that it has the collaborative nature, or this is the research without any there is research of no boundaries. This means there is no geographical, social, psychological or cross-cultural boundaries we can find in the research. Then now I'm going to the point in ethics in research. Simply we know that ethics refers towards the considering moral factors whenever we are doing the research in the context. So we need to consider the language, we need to consider the ethnicity and the culture of the respondents. We have to know them. This means the next thing is we must be aware to the social tradition and practices of the respondents. We have to avoid pressure. Just whenever we are collecting, when we are eliciting the data from the respondents, we should avoid any terms of the pressure, because according to my hypothesis, I can say them, you have to go in this trend, but that is not the ethics of the research. Similarly, that will be same for the research one. That's why we need to avoid the pressure. We need to respect the identity of the respondents, and researchers should avoid the biasness. If researchers try to bring the biasness, there could not be any terms of the result that is in the real field, and the main reality could not be obtained. So next thing is, very important thing is language of the respondent's choice. And next very important thing is, whenever we are collecting data, in case of the research, in case of e-research or the research, because in research and e-research, e-paradigm is the one, that is the paradigm shift from the research. So we have to get the permission from the respondents, and if the respondent is below the age of 16, we have to get the permission from the parents. And we need to, next very important thing for the case of the research ethics is, we need to consider the cyber ethics. We have to know the cyber values. We can find out the different cyber crimes in the days, and these things violate the research activities that we are doing on. That's why the ethics that are pertaining to computers, online portals, digital discoveries, covering the user behaviors and what computers are programmed to do and how this affects individual and the society. This is known as the cyber ethics, and we have to be too much sincere toward the cyber ethics, and we need to follow. That means we need to avoid harm to others electronically. We need to be honest and trustworthy to the resources. This means we have to acknowledge them. We have to respect the privacy of the others. We have to honor the confidentiality. Similarly, we have to honor the property rights, including copyrights and the patents, because we are contributing to the society, culture, and the human beings. And to contribute for them, we need to consider their values also, and we need to consider our ethics as well. So, in the other sense, we can see next is cyberbullying and other things may be there one. We have to take care of these technological equipments, and technological sincerity will be there one, in the sense that we have to explore the appropriate and safe sites for learning and the research. And we have to consider the ethics of the plagiarism. That is the most important thing, because we copy, we paste the ideas, but we do not recognize to the real resources one. That is our problem, and we have to do this thing. And we have to maintain the ethics of the plagiarism. That's why we can be effective, powerful, and ethical digital creators. And to be a thoughtful creator, to be a responsible creator, to be effective creator, we have to develop this collaborative network for the data collections. Like we can see here, there is data quality, researchers, women participants on online research sites, and these different terminologies are defined here one, and we have to consider these different values in case of considering the research. In terms of carrying out the research in the context of e-paradigm. I consulted this resources one, and this is all from my side. Thank you.